is somewhat of a light day because it's a Sunday. And if you know anything about me, I don't typically work on Sundays, but I designate Sundays as days for school stuff because it's probably really important to set aside days that are outside of your work hours that you can just put a lot of focus towards your studies. So Sundays have been a day for me where I focus a lot on school. I focus a lot on my studies. I focus a lot on finishing up assignments, doing studying, and really preparing myself for the new week and everything that I have to do for the new week that's coming up. So it's kind of like a preparation day for me, but I spend a lot of time doing homework and doing class stuff and really studying and working on my doctoral study. A lot earlier in my life and in my career, I would do a lot of to-do lists, and to-do lists they can be effective, but what I've found is they're not the most effective for someone like myself who is trying to balance so many things, and from a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint, and from my doctoral journey. It's a lot to manage and to try to maintain so many things at once. So for me, a to-do list just wasn't as effective. So what I learned and what I discovered through researching, through talking to people that are at the executive level, people at director levels, and CEOs of major corporations, and really finding out what helps them be able to really manage their massive lives and the massive things that they have going on. In that is to schedule out instead of creating a to-do list. So it's still essentially my to-do list, but instead of just having a list of things to do and then just delegating what is the highest of priority of things to do, I actually schedule them into my day in time slots. So I have them in my Outlook, and I will put a video on the screen here or a picture on the screen here for you to be able to see what that looks like. But for me, it starts early in the morning. I try to wake up around 5 to 5:30 every morning. That's every day, 7 days a week. That's how I function. And typically the day before, the night before, I will plan out my day for the next day. There's some things that's already on my calendar, like meetings and things that I already know that's pre-scheduled, that's there, but then I fill in those gaps. So I set the time for when I'm gonna study, when I'm gonna be working for homework, when I'm gonna do chores around the house, when I'm gonna if I have to care for my dog, I have to put that into my schedule. And what I do is I tie that into alarms. So I have alarms that go off on my phone and notifications that comes through on my phone. And what that tells me to do is when it's time to stop doing something and move on to something else. And, I give myself the flexibility in these blocks to challenge myself to get finished early. So if I can get finished with schoolwork early, that's something to where if I had an hour left, that's an extra hour of time that I can spend doing something else. And that works very effectively for me, and it helps me to be able to properly prioritize what it is that I have to do. Something like a doctoral journey is extremely difficult to maneuver through, and it's something that you have to learn how to balance your time. One of the earlier in my journey, I wasn't as effective in time management as I am now. It was hard to say, hey, I can't find time. And I had to learn how to make time. I started getting up earlier in the morning because I realized that if I can wake up in the morning and I can go to bed at night and I can still feel like I didn't have enough time to get everything done, to me, that was an indication that I'm not up early enough. And, research studies show that, people are highly effective when they get up earlier. And waking up earlier for me just made more sense to say, hey, instead of staying up till 3, and there's sometimes when that happens still, right? But instead of staying up till 3, or just being tired and having to go to sleep and then sacrificing and not really getting some things done, I had to get up earlier. So that was a challenge. I would recommend anybody who wants to get up earlier, don't just jump into it and say, oh, I'm gonna just wake up at 5:30, because that's extremely difficult, and it's very rare that you're gonna be able to effectively do that. I would say gradually increase 30 minutes probably every single week, to give yourself the time to gradually get to the ideal time you want to wake up. So if you typically wake up at 8 and you want to start getting up at 5:30, work your way into that. Say, hey, this week, instead of waking up at 8, I'll wake up at 7:30, and do it every single morning for about 7 days. And then after that, add another 30 minutes. It's okay now. So before you know it, in a month, you're now getting up an hour earlier. So that's how I did it. And I also, match that with like things like cold showers in the morning. These are all things that you can put research to, and you can really find out that it's been extremely effective for some of the most highly successful people. So these are things that I have to utilize, because once again, this journey is not an easy journey, but it takes commitment. And for me, if I want to hit the goals that I have set for myself, it means waking up earlier in the morning. It means having to be detailed and meticulous in how I attack my day, and be very intentional and very serious about my time. My family and close friends will tell you I'm able to still make time for them. I don't really have to sacrifice time, but that's a testament to just how intentional I am with my time and how valuable I treat my time. So that's just how I approach my time. If you are a doctoral student, or if you're somebody who's a professional and you have a method, or you have a routine that is different from mine, please share. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear what's working for you. But this is what's working for me, and it works for me consistently every single day. It allows me to be able to get things done. So right now it is 3 p.m. my time. I have a deadline. I have to get done with all of my homework over the next 2 hours. I think where I'm at right now, I can likely knock this out in the next hour to create more time for myself. There's things that my wife and I want to do. We might go to our pool in our building, which is now open. If you watched the last video, you saw that my pool is not open, and I was a bit disappointed that it had been closed for quite some time, and it's now reopened. So I would like to go to do that. I would like to relax a little bit more, maybe go back to the gym. I might use the gym in my building instead of leaving the house. So I don't know, but that's the goal. Stick around with me in this video and watch me kind of maneuver through this, and maybe you can hang out with me a little bit later. Chicago is such a beautiful city. This is from one of my decks in my property. You can see the city. It's a really beautiful city. I'm gonna share on the screen a clip of Chicago. I was downtown on the riverfront. When you're being somebody like myself who's born and raised from here, you can certainly take like this city for granted and how beautiful it is and just how amazing the scenery is. If you're not from Chicago, you should certainly experience Chicago. I would say come in this time when it's nice and it's warm, because it gets very cold in Chicago in the wintertime, and it might not be as fun for you. So I would come here in the summertime, go downtown Chicago, enjoy the scenery. There's a lot of food, there's a lot to do. It's just such an amazing time. It's so much fun. So I'll let you enjoy a little of these Chicago views that I have access to. throughout this video. So the time right now is about 4:38, and I've finished quite a bit. Doesn't look like I'm gonna finish by 5, but this happens sometimes. You have very important assignments, you have very important things to do, and sometimes you won't finish in the time frame you set, but that's okay. I'm still gonna put my best work in and try to get done as fast as I can. So I'll come back and I'll update you guys on where I'm at after I finished. Hey, so I'm here back at my home office. It is currently 6:22, and I am still working on some assignments, but I did submit one of the biggest assignments that I had. I was able to submit that, and that's actually something that is extremely vital to my doctoral study. So let's hope that everything went well with that and that's actually good, because that'll be very, very helpful for me in the progression in my program. As far as what I have left to do, I got a few more things left to do, and I hope to be done with those things within the next half hour to an hour. Um, of course, quality is the most important thing, so I'm not gonna turn this stuff in until it's at the standard that it needs to be. And that may take longer than my intended time, but that's okay, because the most important thing is getting the work done and doing it at an extremely high level. And it's all a part of goes into my time management. Is I don't have anything else to do today that needs to be done. Everything else that I had scheduled to be done is already done. So now I can put all of my extra attention into my studies. And if I have to go over my preferred time, then I mean, so be it. But I have that time available to do what I need to do. So I'm gonna jump back in. I'll try to update you guys one more time when I finish everything, and I'll let you guys know what the rest of my day looks like. The time is now 8:24 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Chicago, and I'm officially finished. I submitted my last assignment. As you see today, I did not finish nearly as early as I wanted to. But once again, as an independent scholar, you have to make sure that you do quality work. And sometimes that work takes you a little longer. Sometimes you have to spend more time than you want to spend, or than you maybe have, maybe prepared to spend. And that just comes with the territory, and it comes with the process. So I'm glad that I finished everything. I have a week off, technically, but not really. Gonna be moving into some new classes here after this week off that I'm getting. But there are still some things to work on, because your work for your doctoral study is not stop until it's over. So there's still research I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna still be pulling articles and preparing things that I need to submit this related to my doctoral study. As for right now, I'm ready to go and jump in the pool because my pool is still open. It's a really nice night, and I'm gonna just relax for the rest of the night tonight, and gonna do my schedule for tomorrow, and that's gonna be pretty much the end of that. So, guys, hang with me for a little bit more longer here, and I'll see you guys here pretty soon. He gets to make another cameo. Say hi, Kratos.